Ladies and gentlemen, we're about 20 minutes from starting, but just so you know, when we begin, for the goat side, we will start with the odd number Class 1 goats. And when I say odd number, I mean the last digit on their validation tag in their ear. We'll start with the odd numbers. And if it ends with a 0, that is an even number. So we'll start with odd numbers on Class 1 goats. And for the Class 1 fine wools, we will bring the entire class, both odds and evens. This will be your first call for Class 1. Again, first call for Class 1 odd numbers on the goats, and the whole class first call fine wools. And just so you know, today's show, both the market lambs and market goats, will be streamed. You can go to the YouTube San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo page on YouTube and watch the shows. Just a reminder, when you come to the check-in area, you need to bring your one copy of the disposition form, the perforated cards that you had when you turned in weights. Please bring one copy to the show ring.
as we get started this morning on the fine wool division over here. We've got 15 lambs pulled up against the fence, and I think 100 to 110 pounds. There's some very, very close calls out here as we look at the sheep that remain in the ring that are going to be excused at this time. Trying to get my mind and set a pattern for the day. We've got some big high cutability sheep that don't have enough rib and body to match their extension, or then we've got a couple of thicker muscular sheep that are a little softer and a little plainer in their chest and shoulder relationship, and I'm hoping that when we bring those top 15 back, they'll be a little more consistent in terms of that lines and balance and symmetry with handling quality. I think all the sheep are well presented. Young people got them ready early this morning. Let's congratulate them, if you would, with a nice round of applause.
Just a reminder, when you come to the staging, you need to bring one of your disposition cards to the area with you. Kelby Burke, New Home FFA, you are needed at the staging. Yep, you're being judged.
half, got a sheep loose. First half, got a young lady in the blue shirt up here. That's a wide-bodied, stout one I like. I don't think he moves good enough for me behind, a little soft in his forelimb, but I like his boxiness and flat back. Got another one that's a little loose-hided that I really like, the running uphill look and pattern and symmetry. Didn't know if there's just enough pop when you get on top of him. Got a nice basic built sheep that's a little plain here. Then as we go from there down, there's some bigger, longer, higher cutability ones that don't have enough balance and symmetry. There's some stouter, shapelier ones. I thought this sheep was close down here. The young lady in the blue shirt has. I like his hip and shape up high from his loin back. He doesn't hook his loin into his forerib and depth of chest, maybe where I want to see it. Structurally, he's a little off in terms of his way of motion. I think close calls, I've probably kept too many, but I thought that's where the natural break was for me as I try to keep handling, quality, and structure put together in one package. Let's congratulate the efforts of our young people out here that were very, very close. That's why he beats the sheep in second. Second is maybe the ES accented by the fact I want to make him more from here to here. And please congratulate him again on a job well done. good, just a little looser heighted and not quite as bold in his loin as what our class winner is. Like the sheep in third on the stand from a muscularity and a touch and a tone standpoint, of the three sheep that are in vying contention for this at the top end, when I set him in motion, he's the straightest in his knee and shoulder, the most insecure in movement. As a result, he settles in third. The sheep in fourth, I feel bad for the young lady. I was slow to get him pulled. When I handled him again, I'm like, man, this thing needs to go up in class quite a ways. Kind of missed him initially. He's not the soundest creature of this group, but he is, without a doubt, a power sheep within this class of shape and muscularity. Lamb coming out. Got a good touch and tone down his top line. He's a little hollow in terms of his flank, and then when this guy gets in motion, he'll get a little more off on his hip. Secure in terms of his hind leg. Got a good sheep coming next. This one, when he gets in motion, is a little stilty. Doesn't want to get out and go off of his rear too comfortably enough. But when the young lady gets him driving, really bold, really stout, really powerful. We go down to another heavy bone, heavy, durably built sheep that's a little low at his shoulder neck junction. Doesn't have that symmetry and look on the profile, but I love his utility. Lamb here handles good. You get away from him and he'll really taper out of his dock and close up there in his hip. Want just a little more stoutness. We go down from there into a little more hollower built with the black shirt, the red shirt, and the paisley shirt exhibitor that we've got here. High cut ability, good touch and tone. Doesn't match their framework as well. Got a real good, moderate, easy, good, structured lamb, little pelty hided. Our final three give up that muscularity and shape, but yet their high cut ability, their trim handling lambs. Let's congratulate those that are still around ringside. This Class 1 Fine Will Cross was very, very good to put together. big top sheep. I liked him real good. Body, nice middled one, a little soft to the touch. You get down to some bigger, prettier here, handles good, and I like this one. This one's one of the closest calls, but you get in behind him and study his dock, study his whoopty shape from a profile. There's not enough leg there. Front 2/3 are cool, flat back, good handling. I just need more twist, need more leg, and that's a close call. Good stand, great handling sheep. I guess we're trying to run this as survival of the fittest out here. We've got 15 sheep. We've got a place with limited, or trying to have a little more room accessible. We've got 6 or 7 out here that I think are very, very close. If I have one generality of a criticism of the sheep that are here, is over there, we don't have the proportion in the lines. If you study their top line, study the length of their blade in relation to their midrib and flank, we lose a little favor on this set relative to this set over here. You put your hands on them, they're all good loin, they're all good racked. Some of them get maybe a little more peaked in their twist, like this sheep here, real close to being kept. I love his build. I just want to wrap with more muscle as you take them down to their hock. Very, very close calls. Let's please congratulate the efforts of the young people here, and we'll resort this top end. Once again, you continue to sort through them. Love the build of this one in the front of the line right here. A little flat in his body design. You get your hands on him. I want him to span with a little more spread over his loin. Real good built sheep there, just a little soft to the touch. I thought this one was one of the two closest decisions. Love the skeletal quality, the looseness of structure and carriage in this sheep. Want him to just handle it a little more responsive than what he does. Got a real big bodied one that just gets a nickel plain out here, but he's wide and stout. Big, pretty one. In relation to his frame and length, he needs a little more horsepower to him. Tremendous handling sheep, a little tubey, a little straight. Got a nice built pair down here that I really like their design. I get on top of them, and they just don't have the bold feature that some of these do. Very, very close calls. We're going to redrive the 15, try to be as efficient as we can. There's 8 of them out here. Let's congratulate them with a job well done. This is tough calls. Very impressed with the depth of quality. ready? Probably a little warm for the camel hair. Maybe not the best coat for like. The fine wool cross side of the house has got some absolute power at the top end of this class, and I get excited, and I could just sit out here and study stock. All of a sudden, I go down to the scale area and I'm reminded the Super Bowl starts at what time? 5:30? This crowd might get pretty sparse at 5:30, so I better keep up the pace. And we had a great meal, great hospitality at noon, and the staff that sorts and classifies and weighs, as their bellies get full, their attention span may get just a little shorter out here, so I better pick up the pace. I'll tell you what, it's just my opinion, and you got to watch. As you're a show judge, if you don't show things better than what you're judging, you got to be real cautious on how you critique other people's livestock. The first two sheep that I have out here before me, our boys are 11 and 8 and not shown one look like either one of these in terms of quality. So it's with a little humility that I come to you, and I'm going to put one first and one second. It's very close. Both are good handling sheep. Both are clean-bodied sheep. To me, the upper rib advantage goes to the class winner, and you step in front of these two lambs. He's the wide-chested sheep. He's got a little more shape to his forearm, and then I absolutely love how hard he touches, how clean his body design and body wall is, and he's very athletic. This sheep in second came in class, and he was fired up. He was popping, stifle was going. I said, this will be my class winner in this class. He ends up second as the dust settles. Love this guy's shape and natural muscularity. He's not as genuine in his chest and lower body, not as genuinely stout, what our class winner is. The one in third, awesome built, awesome moving, maybe as athletic and agile as any, a little thicker in terms of the way his neck sets onto the front side of his shoulder, and he doesn't have that as exotic, along a pattern look, but I love this basic utility, the body design, the way this thing's hind leg is built. We need to replicate more of them like him in third. Tremendous sheep there in third. The one in fourth is wide-ribbed and wide-made. He's the poorest handling in his upper shoulder and his rack. He's the softest in his forerib, and I don't see him as genuine in terms of his natural trimness and cutability that I do the initial three, but structure and body and natural with the skeleton, he's built just like him. A little different style here in five, a little bigger, a little longer. This guy gets a little more shotgun bellied out here, and he'll fade just a little bit there in his loin as it hooks up into his hip, but heavy boned, long bodied, stout muscled sheep that really has some athleticism and coordination. The softest sheep in his forerib comes in 6 of the initial 6, and he goes in 6 because of that. I don't see him as big in his pin set, but this thing's flawless in his build, really good in terms of his skeletal quality and design. The next sheep, without a doubt, probably the heaviest muscled lamb we've got in the first 7. I want to make sure that bone and foot matches muscularity. He's a little almost gaudy muscled and a little refined for me out here. It doesn't balance with that proportionality that I seek. Got a great built one here that just run out of just touch and tone right here, right here. I love his build, love his skeleton. Just want to pop him with a little more expression. The sheep just below him has the muscle, but he's also up in his top and the tightest in terms of his hind leg design. As a result, he settles in there. As we go down, these are incredibly good sheep. They don't fit together quite as well. This is a nice pattern sheep. It's a little flat-bodied. This one's a little short in his pattern, a little up in his spine. Got a heavy bone, stout one down here that's a little off behind his shoulder, but that one's a powerhouse in terms of skeleton. Got a really good handling sheep here the young lady's got, just a little awkward in his hind leg design. Then our final sheep handles good. I couldn't get his pieces to fit together quite as well. Let's give him a great round of applause. Super Bowl Sunday, that's a nice way to judge a fine Will Cross class.
Just a reminder, after the Fine Will Cross Drive, these first and second place exhibitors will need to go to the drug testing area, and then they will get photos afterwards. All right, we are ready for our Fine Will Cross Drive. Our winner out of Class 7 went to Sarita Short, Panther Creek FFA. Second place went to Emerson Blanick, Tom Green County 4-H. Out of Class 8, first place went to Strand Stoltz, Mason FFA. And second went to Sloan Stoltz, Mason FFA. Out of Class 9, first place went to Haley Sanderson, Blackwell FFA. And second went to James Cochran, Christoval FFA. Out of Class 10, first place went to Sloan Stoltz, Mason FFA. And second went to James Cochran, Christoval FFA. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. We can bring our first class of Dorpers to the staging area, class 13, both odds and evens to the staging.
I guess instead of NASCAR, instead of NASCAR analogies today, we probably should use Super Bowl analogies or pro football. These folks are professionals out here that are showing these sheep, and they're not only professionals in terms of ability to maintain demeanor, maintain a positive outlook, whether they were first or second. But boy, they can get these things driven tremendously good out here. I like our class winners. I like our second place sheep. I've described them, or I've tried to describe to you what's going through my mind and when it's close and when it's not. And I said there's not a lot of weight parameters as long as they fit. They're a viable contender, and every one of these class winners is a viable contender. Every one of those second place sheep, if they were to follow in the respective winner, could be a viable contender. Very pleased with what we've had to work with. I've described what I like about each of the creatures. Then I've described maybe a region or two that we'd like to improve on, and I think that's what makes animal breeders and livestock people so resilient. We want to continue to make them better, and I was reflecting after class 3 and 4, what will fine wool cross sheep look like in 5 years? Because these things are good. I don't know how you're going to make them better. Maybe you make them stouter legged or woollier legged or more ripped back than they already are. It'll be interesting. I like where the sheep industry is today because they're really focusing on build and structure and yet not taking muscle out of the creature. And I'm very, very complimentary of the breeders, very complimentary of the young people that manage these sheep because their condition's right, their handle's right. I really, really like the set a good deal. I think your champion, I'm not one to say is the total sheep or not is the totals. He's not the safe choice out here. He's the best one. He's got as much handling quality as any sheep out here. He's the freshest. He's the most correct in terms of skeletal design and quality of the class winners. And then reserve, I'm going to take one more look at. Before I do, let's congratulate all 8 that represent the San Angelo Fine Wool Cross Division.
Our breed champion for the Fine Wool Crosses went to Haley Sanderson, Blackwell FFA, and reserve champion went to James Cochran, Cristobal FFA. They'll receive a $1,500 and $1,000 scholarships, respectively. And the donor for those scholarships is Jacoby Feed and Seed. So thank you for their support. Results from the fourth class of Fine Wool Crosses. First place was Sloan Stoltz, Mason FFA. Breeder was Stoltz Sheep Company. Second was James Cochran, Christoval FFA. Breeder was Smithwick Cub Lambs. Third went to Brantley Hoover, Midland County 4-H. Breeder was Smith Family Show Lambs. Fourth went to Costin Allison, Coryell County 4-H. Breeder was Justin and Bridget Jonas. Fourth was Peyton Crenwelge, Kerr County 4-H. Breeder was Smithwick Club Lambs. Sixth, Mason Fuchs, Tom Green County 4-H. Breeder was Struby Livestock. Seventh, Bailey Smith, Crosby County 4-H. Breeder was Long Club Lambs. Eighth, Tucker Huff, Falls City FFA. Breeder was Stoltz Sheep Company. Ninth, Brady Barbie, Wimberley FFA. Breeder was Chandler Club Lambs. And 10th went to Matt Collins, Idalou FFA. Breeder was Long Club Lambs. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
muscularity and characteristic known to the breed. They're a little more refined, some are a little rounder, some are a little bunchier muscled, and so how do you put them together, I think, gets to be a challenge. I'll describe the differences of what I see. The most lasting impression, or the initial impression of the sheep that hit me the hardest, is the young lady that starts this class. Tremendous handling and carcass value, clean in his condition, yet extreme in his muscularity, and I think he gets out and he handles himself really, really well. I think as we maybe become critical, I'd like to see just a shot more bone underneath him, and I think he's a little rounder rumped. That's where I tried to get the one in second to really exemplify in motion. I like the added foot size and bone and hip design in the sheep in second. The challenge is there just isn't the handling texture nor quality in his rack. His loin is what our class winner is. As we compare 2 and 3, I think that particularly when they're in motion, the sheep in second's a little nicer built in his neck and shoulder. He's cleaner in his chest, and I think really gets out and goes very, very well. I like the one in third in terms of his thickness and width of skeleton and mass of muscle. He's a little squarer at the base of his shoulder, a little shorter and rounder, and just more a little boxier on both ends, and maybe ideally I'd like to see, but I really like his thickness and shape. The most interesting hip and hind-legged sheep we've got within the group is here in 4, and I like this region of him the best. Out here, he really is distended there on his left side, a little too full for the show today. Then his blade and form and knee and how that is assembled up front needs to be different. I think he's the most interesting sheep to me within this group in terms of hip and hind leg design, but he's also the most different in terms of how he's built up front. Maybe the structure and the pattern and the balance that I want is the one that I have right here before me in 5th. The challenge with this one is he just fits inside the other 4. There isn't enough horsepower. There's not enough rib and just natural width of skeleton. I think his skeletal quality might be my favorite. Just want to open him up a little bit in terms of his body cavity. The next one, really thick and massive muscled, a little coarse and mature and masculine through his head, neck, and chest for me, but he's really thick and powerful. Love pieces of the one that comes next. In terms of Dorpers with length of neck and a good hip and hind leg, challenge is when this young lady's not driving this sheep, he really gets peaked behind his shoulder. Want to strengthen him there. A pair of white sheep that are real stout, real square, a little more refined, a little rounder pattern, but I like their thickness and muscle. Got one here that I really like in terms of skeleton and build. I didn't know the sheep's a little peaked in his forerib, but I like his structure. I like his skeletal quality. Just needs a little more time. He got outmassed out here today. Then we transition down to a thick-built square one. When he gets in motion, he gets a little up in his top and loses balance. Got a nice profiling one here that's a little flat. Got a freckled up, hided one that's really square built. His chest to flank relationship from a profile needs to be more parallel. We get down to a couple of nice ones that just need more to them here. Then we get to a couple of thick and chunkies. Extreme muscle. I thought both these were a little round in their pattern. Then we closed with some nice ones down here. Got some stoutness to them. Just a little too softer made ones here. This guy down here just needs more time on feed to compete. Very, very challenging in my opinion. My compliments for lots of quality out here. Let's congratulate him if you would with a nice round of applause.
All right. We are about to have Class 14, which is the second class of Dorpers. Out of this class, we will be, in addition to first and second, we will be testing the 4th place lamb out of this class. results from the first class of Dorpers. In first place, we had McKenna McLaughlin of Coryell County 4-H. Breeder was Kelly Hairsheep. Second was Sarah Struby, Andrews County 4-H. Breeder is Book Showgoats. Third was Connor Pence, Tom Green County 4-H. Breeder is Jade Livestock. Fourth went to Briley Raider, Gillespie County 4-H. Breeder was Raider Ranch. Fifth went to Sarah Struby, Andrews County 4-H. Breeder was N&K Ranch. Sixth, Madison Fay, Lipan FFA. Breeder is Kelly Hairsheep. Seventh went to Christina Hernandez, Sutton County 4-H. Breeder is Raider Ranch. Eighth went to Abby Bailey, Tom Green County 4-H. Breeder is Meyer Sheep Company. Ninth was Kylie Box, Midland County 4-H. Breeder is Wildcat Ranch, White Dorpers. And 10th went to Briley Raider, Gillespie County 4-H. Breeder is Raider Ranch. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
I think really a very deep class of Dorper sheep out here. The upper end, it didn't take long to get to 15 to 20. We're going to go ahead and try to check through one more in to have an even 20. I thought this one was close, and these are good built, really good pattern sheep out here. I don't know if there's going to be enough horsepower when you get in behind them to run with those up there, but I really like that one's build. I got some nice sheep here that tend to be, to me, just a little softer to the touch, but you like their thickness and stoutness. The next closest one was down here. I love his hip and I love his hind leg and stoutness. He tends to all run downhill into the base of his shoulder and put his front feet out in front of him. Couldn't get a good profile view of him. We come around to a couple of white ones over here. Thought we're very close to being kept. They're good structured. Just didn't know if there's enough feature, enough muscularity. I really think a great set within the heavyweight drive. It'll be fun to see what happens at the upper end of this particular group. Before we do that, I would ask that you put your hands together. It's been a long day for these folks to wait for an opportunity to show, and they got to show, and they look good. Close calls, job well done.
Our first and second place Dorpers from Class 13 will need to check in at the staging area here shortly. When we finish this class, we'll move into our drive for the Dorpers.